9, Andrew Chen. And outside hitter number 10, Carlos Alvarado Madrid. And outside hitter number 13, Omar Felicity. And an outside hitter number 14, Lucas Ngose. Eagles libero is number 5, Jonathan Mott. Head coaches Anna Baruch and the assistant coaches are Vaughn Ford and Xavier Fong. Now this morning's toughs for your Baruch College Bearcats. Right side hitter junior number 2, Andrew Soros. A senior outside hitter number 3, Stephen Lopez. Sophomore center number 7, Stallone Shankar. Junior middle hitter number 16, Evan Tacos. Middle hitter junior number 17, Eddie Boucher. Freshman on the right side hitter number 18, Justin Loyan. And libero is a freshman number 9, Absang Andrickson. Bearcats head coach in the sports season, Kevin Edwards. The assistant coach is Christy Encarnacion. Now let's play ball.
Good morning. March 7th, 10 a.m., Arc Arena. Best place to be in Manhattan right now, folks, as we watch a CUNYAC tri-match here. All conference matches today. First match of the day, this visiting CCNY Beavers are taking on your home team, the Baruch College Bearcats. Now, the Beavers came off a record-setting season last year off of CUNYAC Player of the Year, Giulio Maftari, a close friend of mine, a very good guy, but unfortunately he isn't on the team anymore. But really, he was deserving of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award because he was so much more than just a volleyball player and an all-around amazing person. And they are definitely hurting with the lack of him this year, but the Beavers are still off to a 1-0 conference start compared to the Bearcats' 3-0 conference start as each team's look to improve their perfect records. CCNY will be serving first, number 9, Andrew Chan, the junior setter out of Flushing, New York. And let's see how that CCNY offense really comes together when they lost their set piece, their real kingpin, in Giulio Maftari. First serve of the day, folks. First of many. And a float serve going to 6, handled by the Baruch libero. One ball to Evan Tacos, off the hands. Corralled by CCNY. Oh, looks like a 2-ball in the middle. A little miscommunication there. Outside ball of the Baruch Bearcats. And Stephen Lopez terminates that ball down the line. First kill of the match by number 3, Baruch senior captain from Port Washington, New York, Stephen Lopez. Now the setter for Baruch back at the line, number 7, Stallone Shankar, the sophomore. Really came alive last season at the end of the season. Let's see if he can do something similar right now. Ooh. Looks like CCNY ran a bit of a push 2-ball there, kind of caught the Baruch block off balance, and CCNY point. We're tied up at 1. Number 15 checks in for the Beavers. The 5'9" outside hitter, Elijah Parks from Island Park, New York. He's actually good friends with the Baruch College player Stephen Lopez. They go way back from their Long Island volleyball days. Dug by Andrew Soros out of 6. Set to the right side freshman, Justin Alulian. Bump set by the libero. A roll shot to 5. Doug, it's going to be a big attack for Andrew. And Andrew Soros with the kill. Andrew Soros has really filled into the back row attack this year for the Bearcats. Last year he played primarily right side, where he'd be attacking out of 1. And now he's transitioning to attack out of 6 more consistently. And a little confusion on who should serve here, and I think the Bearcats got it right now. Stallone Shankar did serve the last point. This should be Stephen Lopez at the line. Back one. Interesting strategy for the Beavers, as the Bearcats have some of the better blocking middles in the nation historically, and they're really trying to attack that early. Let's see how that pays off, but maybe this is part of their newly designed offense with the departure of Julio Maftari. Handled easily by the Beaver serve receiver. Ooh, and just snuck that ball beneath Drew Soros' block. Beaver point as they trail 2-3 in the first set. Couple LIRR delay, folks. I'm broadcasting alone this morning, but pretty soon I'll be joined by our staple, Brian B. Flannery. But for now, it's just me running the show. And with that hitting error, it's 3-3. A nail biter to start off the first set. Number 8's in a jump float. Serves to 6, handled by the Baruch libero. Back one to Evan Tacos. Blocked by CCNY. Picked up by Tacos, but just couldn't control that ball. Beavers are out to their first lead of the match, 4-3. Number 8, Abdul Khalil, back at the line. Oh, and a nice quick ball to the pace on the outside. You can really see, compared to last Thursday's match, Andrew Soros is getting a lot more chemistry with the Baruch setter because he wants that quick outside ball, which they were struggling to find a bit against Trine, but that looked much more fluid. And let's hope that him and Stolen Shankar can continue to heat up and build on this chemistry moving forward, because Andrew's 2 or 3 swings thus far have looking very good. And the story of the Bearcats season thus far has been unnecessary serving errors, as they now trail 4-5 off of a serving error by Taco Tuesday, Evan Tacos. And that ball might have been going out, but it was handled by the Baruch libero. Back row roll shot by Steven Lopez. Ooh, and a miscommunication on the CCNY back attack. 31 to Musheyev, and he just destroys the ball. Saw the hole in the defense and put the ball there. Manny Musheyev has been hitting out of his mind this year, leading the Bearcats in hitting with about 400 percentage, which is a huge improvement from where he was at last season. And as a Bearcat fan and alumni, there's nothing you want to see more than Manny Musheyev develop as an attacker. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the solo show. Now my partner in crime, the yang to my yang, Brian Flannery, is back in the booth as he gets his headset hooked up. He'll be joining us shortly. And speaking of headset hooked up, the headset was a little unhooked there for the Beavers as there was a double on that ball. Everyone in the gym knew that was a double. And Bearcat point. And the man of the hour is here. The man who needs no introduction. Who is this?
I'm Brian Flannery, and we're here for a full CUNYAC try match here today.
It should be illegal to have this much fun, Brian. 3 matches, sitting in the booth for 6 hours with you. Nothing I'd rather be doing.
Oh, me and you both. Especially wishing everyone a good morning. Usually it's good evening, good afternoon, but
I know the Arc Arena seems a little bit brighter when the sun's up. Is it just me?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong there.
Despite the lack of windows, there's definitely more solar energy right now. Oh, and the Bearcat bench called out, but that ball was going in. Aggressive free ball by the freshman Justin Alulian.
Pipe attack from Lopez going back row. Pretty good volley here.
Ooh, that might have been a double.
And CCNY comes out on top there. Again, really good volley, and you just saw them kind of dump one into the campfire there, and Andrew Tesoros wasn't able to just...
Yeah, it looked like the Bearcats were just waiting for that double call, but, you have to keep playing until you hear the whistle blow, Brian.
Yep.
A little miscommunication there in the back row attack. A free ball gets sent over to the libero for CCNY. Not the player you want to put free balls over to.
Shankar sending that one over. And they're going to call a tool there.
Yeah, that was a tool off the Bearcat block. Nice smart swing by number 14 for the Beavers. The freshman outside hitter from Sunnyside, New York. Vukasin Bozic from Hillcrest High School. Now at the line, number 3, Tenzin Sherpa, the 5'4" sophomore DS/setter.
Here's Tesoros now. Off some hands in the front row. 50-50 ball.
Ooh, somehow snuck that through Museyev's block. Oh, and just missed that one. Looks like the hitter got a little bit underneath the ball there, Brian. And in order to hit the ball, you know what you want to do?
You want to be on top of it.
You want to be on top of it. Exactly, Brian. Exactly.
I learned from the best.
It's kind of like, if I understand correctly, hitting a baseball.
Yeah.
You want to get on top of the ball, because when you get underneath the ball, it's when you pop it up.
Absolutely.
Once you got Mark McGuire's strength, and can hit anything as a home run.
So CCNY coming back now. Here's Lopez. Puts it away for the kill.
Great swing by Steven Lopez, and a great ball set to him by Stallone Shankar in transition. Just found him, saw him where he was in the court, and found his right shoulder with a nice ball with pace. You really like to see the Baruch outsides heating up like that, because historically in the years past we've been an outside-led team, but this year it's really been taken over by the middle and right side. So it's nice to kind of see that outside attack develop as the season goes on.
Absolutely. Another 50-50 ball.
Oh!
Real nice set.
Wow, yeah.
Spike there by Shankar and Musayev.
Manny Musayev, great swing, but that set killed itself there, Brian.
Yeah.
Stallone Shankar went up with one hand. No one in the gym expected him to set that ball. Everyone jumped with him to block his attack. And then to set Manny Musayev, the junior middle blocker, up for a wide open net. And
nice save there by Lopez, but on its way over, it hit the top of the rafters.
And that's a CCNY point. If the Bearcats put the ball up and it goes over the plane of the net and hits the roof, the rough, CCNY point.
Yeah, and CCNY coming into this one, pretty good record thus far.
Yeah, 10-4, similar to the Bearcats' 11-6.
And Lopez coming with a big swing there, but dug by the back row.
And tooled by Musayev off the CCNY block. I know, Brian, a contrarian might say, you know what, the Beavers might have had a little bit of an easier schedule than the Bearcats thus far, but you know what? When it comes to conference seeding, the strength of schedule doesn't matter. All that matters is your conference record and your overall.
Absolutely. And that's really what separates the good teams from the best down the stretch. Hopefully try to get some playoff buys. And that's a service ace.
Manny Musayev served the 5-6 seam there. It looks like the outside hitter was expecting the 6 defender to reach over and take that ball so he could transition out, but no one opened their mouths, and that's why it's so important to communicate on the court.
Sent over on 2 there by CCNY.
Oh, a sloppy overpass swing. I bet they wish they had that one back. And you know what wasn't sloppy? That finish by Steven Lopez right there, Brian. Well said.
It's going to be a timeout here for CCNY, so we'll be back in 1 minute.
And we are back, folks. Bearcats lead 13-9 in the first set of an exciting schedule of volleyball in the Arc Arena today. Oh, and a real smart tip by number 14. Tried to tool the block. Didn't get it, but kept the ball alive for his team.
And that's going to be a CCNY point there.
Yeah, the Bearcats went for a triple block, but that's so tough when that third blocker is a little bit late, and that's what happened there with Stallone Shankar. Didn't get his arms over the net, and the ball snuck through. And now it's the first time of the day that everyone's played every position thus far, as number 9 was the first server for the Beavers, and now he's serving again. They've got through a whole serve receive rotation. Wow, kept alive by the CCNY libero. Might be too early to say it, Brian, but he might be libero of the week with how he's playing so far.
Yeah, he's having a great game thus far, and Lopez just unable to put that one in bounds. So that'll be another Beavers point as they're chipping away at that Bearcat lead, 13-11.
Looks like he didn't get all of that ball. Might have put his thumb down a little too much and swung wrist away just that much. And that ball's about a foot out of bounds. I'm not sure if the live stream picked that up. It's a very smart swing. That's where Lopez had to go with that ball, but unfortunately just didn't find the court.
So that ball kind of eats up to Soros. Bearcats going to send it over on 3. That one might have been going out.
Yeah, that's such a tough ball because if you let that ball drop and it goes in, you're the enemy of the team, and the coach is mad at you. But if you let that ball go out and it goes out, you're the hero. Everyone loves you. So it's a very tough ball to let go because there's such a high risk there that it's honestly just best to play it.
Understood.
It's like thinking you have a home run, not running it out, and then getting thrown out at first, Brian.
Yeah. It's a great analogy.
Like a bat flip foul ball.
As the Bearcats are coming back here. CCNY coming with a lot of tips. Down ball by Tesoros.
And this has seemed to be the CUNY strategy against the Bearcats as the John Jay Bloodhounds came out of the gate with a lot of tips around over the Baruch block. I think the teams are realizing that the Baruch has such a big block that they're going to have to try and tip the ball right over it.
It's going to be a Baruch point there as CCNY wanted a off-hands call.
They were asking for a touch. Baruch definitely tried to touch the ball, Brian, but I think they just missed it.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of Baruch players dive and swing an arm at it, but they really just didn't get anything on that. Ooh, a little bit of spin came out there. A little tip-off going on right now. And looked like a clean swing by 14, but that ball went out. Bearcats lead 15-12, and it's back and forth CUNYAC conference play, Brian.
And Jake, from your experience too, what kind of team is CCNY on a year-in, year-out basis?
CCNY came off a historic season last year off of Player of the Year Julio Maftari, but unfortunately he wasn't able to play this season as he's focused on his academics as he's a civil engineering student, a good friend of mine. Player of the Year for the conference last year, so he really could hit anywhere. He started his career as a middle for the Albanian youth national team and then really went everywhere, did anything the Beavers needed, was a great server, a great hitter, a great blocker, could hit outside, right side, middle, wherever they needed him to. So he was really the identity of the team last year. And to begin the season, they don't have him now, and they probably won't have him ever again, so they have to find a new identity and a new way to get points and cheer each other up.
Understood.
And to this point so far, it looks like they've been trying to go for the middle and establish that. But the main thing for them tonight is just going to be keeping their swings in. They've been begging for some touches, but the only thing these balls have been touching is out of the court because they're not getting good snaps on it.
Makes sense. Great analysis there. Here's Tesoros. He puts that away. And it's going to be another CCNY timeout here as they talk things over and try to slow down this Bearcats offense. So we'll be back in a few moments. Stay with us. And we are back underway here as Steven Lopez gets ready to serve. He'll go back row to the libero. And CCNY coming right back.
Oh.
And that's like, in the business, that's what we call a net violation?
Yeah, that is a net violation. Number 8 doesn't know who touched it, but someone did touch it. And number 8's going to need to be able to kind of find a cool head because he has a lot of energy right now and he's fiery. And sometimes your team can build off that, but if you get a little too fiery too early on, you're going to burn out, Brian.
Absolutely. It's a marathon, not a sprint, especially in a tri-match. And that ball's coming into the booth. Always got to protect the equipment over here.
And, I feel for number 8. I also used to have some problems with the refs growing up as a volleyball athlete myself, but it's so tough because once you start feeling sorry for yourself and like the refs are against you, it's so tough to focus and do what you do best, which is just play volleyball.
Makes sense. Here's a Lillian. That one no good. CCNY point. And, Jake, to your point earlier, too, you saw the refs. Again, I learned volleyball off you, Godino, Kyriakos, the full 9, but
and
the refs.
The main man himself, Stephen Roach, can't forget about him.
Oh, of course. Roach is call him the godfather of Baruch volleyball broadcasting. Nonetheless, Tacos puts that one away with authority.
Wow. Number 8 might have a swollen chest after that one, Brian. That got all of them.
No, Tacos got all of that. But going back to my point, Jake, the refs are very on top of the players as far as what they can say and what they can do on the court.
That's so important in conference matches because on paper, some of these matches might just look like regular matches to people. There's really a lot of pride and energy and kind of rivalry that goes on within the CUNYAC conference. And like that, Bearcat point. Bearcats lead 2015, but like you said, Brian, there's just so much energy out there that's really important for the refs to keep the integrity of the game and say, hey, you guys are here to play volleyball, not talk smack to each other.
Understood.
Everyone's here to do their job, Brian. We're here to announce.
Ooh. And that's a service ace.
Speaking of doing their job, Evan Tacos at the line. It's a Saturday, but we're still eating tacos here.
Yep.
But yeah, exactly. The players are here to play. The refs are here to officiate. We're here to announce. That's what the refs are saying. Hey, let the boys in the booth do their job. Let the boys on the court do their job. And let the boys on the stand do their job. And that's exactly what's happened thus far.
Understood.
And if we can take a quick little break away from this volleyball commentary, on behalf of all of Baruch Athletics, I'm wishing Edward Grinberg a fast and speedy recovery. Just underwent surgery for his season-ending, I believe, MCL tear.
Oh, wow.
And we are Edward Grinberg. We know you're watching at home, and we hope you are feeling better soon and back to your normal, youthful, electric, jumpy self. If any of you know Edward Grinberg, feel free to reach out to him and send him your wishes and wish him a speedy recovery. Looks like we're having a little rotation check. Not sure which team might be out of rotation, but we'll get that back to you in a second as the down ref is over at the scorers table. Players are loving the commentary right now, Brian. You love that. The boys are into it.
Yeah, we got a good one here thus far. And definitely stay tuned because we have a 12 p.m. match between York and CCNY, so CCNY is going to stay on the floor. And then Baruch will come back at 2 p.m. to play York.
Brian? Actually, the Bearcats lead 22-15. There was an issue with the scoreboard and on the live stream, apparently. But now we figured it out. Sorry for the confusion, folks. We'll blame Mateo for that. Mateo's in Florida. Now, Brian, have you been following the Bearcat baseball team?
I have.
And for those at home that haven't, how's this Florida trip been going for them? They're in what tournament is it? The inaugural?
They're in the Gene Cusick Collegiate Classic.
Okay.
And, they're having really a pretty good start to the season. They started out 3-0. With a big win over Rutgers Newark, which that's always a tough opponent. They beat them 13-6.
Oh, wow.
And then they came back. And, Jake, their first doubleheader down in Florida agaget Riviera of New Hampshire.
I already knew the score, but I'm actually surprised when you tell me.
Yeah.
What was the score of the first match?
13-6.
13-6? I thought it was 13-0.
So opening day 13-6. Okay. And then the doubleheader, I want to say it was 13-0. And then
like 16-3 or something like that.
16-3, yeah. So the Cats are off to a great start. Then, unfortunately, their momentum kind of took a little bit of a turn once they saw Otterbein.
Oh, well, Otterbeин's historically always a ranked program, if not close to being ranked.
Yeah, coming out of Ohio there. So, tough game against Otterbein. And then last night, they lost a heartbreaker to Bluffton.
I saw a thriller. I was watching the box score. I was on the edge of my seat in my apartment, Brian.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it's very promising to see. As that one deflects off the rafters, stays on the Bearcat side, and that's going to be CCNY.
Speaking of promising, a lot of promising hustle by Stallone Shankar, putting his body on the line, running into the bench to keep that ball alive, but unfortunately, Baruch couldn't keep the point.
Yeah.
And like that, we're at set point in the first set of many today, Brian.
Oh, yeah, we have plenty of sets here on deck.
If there's one thing that's not going to be lacking, it's exciting Division III volleyball action today. The weather might be cold, but the gym is hot, Brian.
Yep, and that should just about do it for the Bearcats as they take set number 1 by a score of 25-17.
We'll be right back. Set 2, Saturday morning, Arc Arena, Brian. Match 1 of 3. I don't think I've been this happy in a long time, Brian.
No, you're really just bringing that energy on an early Saturday morning try match, and you just love to see it, Jake. That's why you're here.
Thought that might have been an overpass. Called that a little too early. The CCNY setter corralled the ball, but caught the Baruch block sleeping a bit. Drew puts his hand up, says, I can have that one next time, Coach. That's my bad. Now number 14 at the line for the Beavers. Ooh, little roll shot to 6.
And here's Tesoro. Big swing. I love the body angle and positioning there. With
textbook by Andrew Soros there. That's what I was saying the other night with Nicholas Godino. When you're going to swing line, you can do one thing. You can move your wrist or your shoulder.
You can't do both.
You can't do both. Or else
we
you're
talk about that a lot.
All the time we talk about it. So Andrew went up there for a quick ball with pace to the antenna, kept his shoulders facing cross, and just turned his wrist down the line. Textbook. Look up how to swing line in the dictionary or the Encyclopedia of Volleyball, and we'll see a video of Andrew Soros on that swing.
And CCNY is going to get the tool there.
Yeah, that's a lucky fan out there getting to touch that ball. Bearcats trail 1-2 as number 8 comes into serve. Let's see if he can come in with a little bit more of a level head this set for the Beavers, as he was getting a lot of fiery energy last set, which sometimes you want as a coach, but sometimes you don't want, as we mentioned earlier.
Understood.
The freshman from Plainview, New York, back at the line, Justin Alulian. Jump float. Oh, tipped, handled by the freshman. Oh, and the Moose in transition. The Moose is on the loose, Brian.
Yes, he is.
As the Museyev gets that kill. A great transition attack there. The ball's a little bit off the net. Many still got to the setter, jumped up early, and let the setter, Stallone Shankar, find him in the air. Textbook, Brian.
Yep, here's Alulian now serving. Back set for CCNY. Big swing there. Off the refs into the booth. Appreciate you, Drew.
Thank you, Andrew Soros, for protecting the integrity of the commentary booth there. Looks like the CCNY set caught the Baruch defenders, not expecting the ball to be pushed out that far, and kind of had a wide open swing even though the block was there. But best swing of the match we've seen this far from CCNY. If they can build off this, we're in for some exciting volleyball.
That one trickles over the tape. Kept alive. A lot of good action back and forth here. Roll shot.
Ooh, and a tight pass there. Stallone Shankar's front row, Brian, so he can go up to dump it, but I think everyone in the gym knew that was coming, and unfortunately there's a double block on him. And that's one where he found Manny Museyev earlier in the match when he went up and looked like he was going to dump the ball, but actually set it, because that sets up the hitter to swing with no block.
Yep.
That might have been a foot fault, and the ref saw it too.
I called it from here.
So those baseball eyes, Brian. I bet you can know what pitch is coming without a buzzer in your jersey, like the Houston Astros.
Yeah, I mean, there's like those.
Because maybe it was your career as a pitcher, you could see the spin on the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. There's those little intricacies of every sport that just playing it, you can really appreciate. But just year by year, learning more and more volleyball, I definitely get to appreciate it. And one thing I do appreciate is great volleyball, and that's what we're seeing here.
You should consider doing poetry, Brian, because you have a way with words.
And that's going to be a Bearcat point. Again, a lot of back and forth volleyball, but I feel like it's been all Baruch.
Yeah, you know, the score looks close, but really, you're right. The Bearcats have come out all cannons blasting, Brian, even without the Russian rocket Artem Zinkin on the court.
And what's going on with Artie?
I think they're just giving Artem a little rest. I think they said, you know what, we're confident in our ability against this team, and we're going to try to line up with a little bit of a fresh face. I think they're trying to see. Ooh, and another good line swing by the Bearcats. Stallone Shankar has really been coming alive with his sets tonight and finding the outside hitters quick on the antenna, which allows them to swing that ball down the line before the block gets there. And going back to our previous point, I think they're just giving Artem a little bit of rest. You know, there are 2 matches today. Artem's been playing really well thus far this season. You know, just give his shoulder a little bit of rest. You can only swing so many times.
Understood. It's just like a pitcher.
You can't pitch every day, Brian.
Yeah. That makes sense. So it's going to be another Beavers timeout here.
We'll be right back.
And back underway here.
Welcome to the block party, folks.
And Jake, honestly, this is why we pay you the big bucks.
That's why I get the big bucks, Brian. I hear I might have a Tony Romo or Peyton Manning-esque contract coming through for next season.
You better.
Stay tuned on Volley Talk, folks, to see what my bidding price is. I might be a free agent, you know, maybe. I love the Bearcat Blue, but if the Hunter Hawks want to give me that $15 million a year to announce volleyball for them, I have to say yes.
I mean, if you want to take your talents to free agency and kind of test the waters.
Tony Romo doesn't exclusively announce Cowboys games, Brian.
True. That is true. So, I mean, it's a bold move on your part.
Just kidding, Bearcat faithful. I would never announce for any other CUNYAC. I don't.
And we have a little bit of a three-man rotation now with Nick Odino coming into the mix.
You know, Nick Odino, he felt real comfortable in the booth, Brian.
That's
a little
good.
bit nervous his first time, but everyone has a first broadcast jitter, and that's only to be understood.
No, of course, and at least we got him in earlier in the season, a little bit of experience.
Got his feet wet, kind of like we're doing in this match with Justin and Lulian and for Artem Zinkin.
Yeah.
Get one of the young guys in, get some of those jitters out, and Justin heard the shout-out on the court. He was happy about it, folks. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, the athletes, Brian.
Of course. It's really just a tight-knit community here of Bearcat family.
The Bearcat faithful.
Oh, no.
Ooh, and a little...
can you explain what just happened
so
there? Yeah.
That was a very tough step by Salone. He was expecting, and as a middle, you always have to be running. And Evan Takos, quite frankly, took that play off, not expecting that ball to come to him. Kind of everyone can point their finger. The hitter's going to look at the setter and say, you shouldn't have set me. And the setter's going to look at the hitter and say, well, you should have been ready. And both of them have a point. Evan Takos probably shouldn't have been set. That being said, he probably should have been ready.
Understood.
It's kind of like that the meme online, Brian, of the Spider-Man all pointing at each other. That's what happened there.
Yeah.
Takos is looking at his setter saying, why'd you do that? And Steven Lopez diving into the booth to keep that ball alive. Scared our tech girl, but we're hanging in there. Our Nina's okay. We're all in one piece.
And that's going to be a CCNY point. Again, tough break there for Baruch. So CCNY now takes the lead. Might even be their first lead. Definitely of the set, if not.
They took an early lead in the first set, I believe, at one point. But you're right, first lead of this set for them. Maybe the second lead. I think they might have been up 2-1 to start this set.
So that ball gets shot up into the rafters coming off the hand of Alulian. CCNY able to keep it alive. Takos now.
Takos was ready for that one and got all of it. And like that, Bearcat point, led by the big blocking junior middle blocker, Evan Takos.
So Shankar will drop back to serve. Big fan of the new jerseys too, Jake.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, Brian, but a little jealousy kicks in. I kind of wish I got to wear them last year.
Yeah. The other ones were a little too plain for my liking.
They were. These are definitely nicer jerseys, and I really like that they have the Bearcat head on them.
Yeah,
I think it adds a lot of
just
flair.
want some logo and some brand identity.
The only thing I would change is the little roll cats on the bottom of the back, but
yeah,
beggars can't be choosers, Brian.
Understood, but nonetheless, jerseys last year a little bit too plain for a group that had a lot of personality.
Ooh! Get that out of here.
And I don't know if you can see there, but the Bearcats.
And the refs weren't exactly happy with that celebration by the Bearcats, but they kept it just clean enough. The up ref thought about saying something, but Bearcats kept it clean, didn't look back, and they said, you know what, we're going to let the boys have a little bit of fun. Just don't get out of line.
You'd love to see it. As that one's way out of bounds.
And, as a middle myself, there's nothing you love more than when the outside attacker tries to tip it over you, and they don't, and they tip it into you, and it's giving you an easy highlight reel block. And speaking of a highlight reel block, highlight reel timeout by the Beavers. We'll be right back. And we're back. Ooh, double! You ever read the, what was the name? It was like Jacob Tutu. You ever read that book growing up, Ryan? Where the kid said everything twice,
No,
that was a double, Brian. That was a double, Brian.
Shankar continues his service run here.
Ooh.
Spoke a little too soon, and Taco's just
with the ricochet.
Fortunately,
a little bit of my luck in the middle there. That used to happen to me all the time. We used to joke, Brian, that I physically and literally had a big head. Sorry, figuratively and physically. By mass, I do have a large cranium. And eagle-wise, I definitely did have a big head, so it was fitting. On all senses of the word big head.
Fair enough. So a little bit of a down ball there from Drew, but unfortunately, that's a little long and goes out of bounds. So
I'm looking at the livecast stats, and we have viewers from all over right now, Brian. As far as Cherry Hill, New Jersey,
that's a long way.
That's a long way. 2 hours away. It's a good range for an inner city match. So thank you to all of our fans viewing from the boroughs, upstate, the island, Long Island, of course.
Can't forget the island,
New Jersey. And for those of you at home who couldn't see that, that's Beaver Point as the Bearcat hitter hit the ball into the antenna, which classifies as out of bounds.
So we have everything squared up here, and we are back underway. Again, pretty closely contested second set between the Beavers and the Cats. And Lopez puts that one away as it almost takes out John Neves up in the bleachers there.
Yeah, it wasn't Steven Lopez's prettiest transition, kind of stutter step there, which you don't want. That kind of kills your momentum, but he found a way to work with it anyway and get the point.
Of course, we got to protect John Neves.
The best sports information director, D3, D2, D1, even NAIA, Brian.
Throw in JUCO in there, too.
Yeah, let's throw in JUCO.
Back set now for CCNY.
Really sets up the athletes and the event staff up for success, and that's all you can ask for out of your sports information director.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely gave me an opportunity to get my career going still while playing at Baruch.
Your career going, Brian. Where's your career taking you now? It's I hear rumblings in the Bearcat Den that you might have moved on.
Yeah, I have, but it's in a good way. So currently with the New York Liberty of the WNBA. And
the New York Liberty.
Yes. And they've recently been purchased by the Brooklyn Nets, so we're all one big happy family over in Brooklyn. But, of course, can't forget the roots. It's always good to come back where everything started.
And CCNY sticking to this tip attack, Brian. They're going to say, no, we can't hit the ball as hard as the Bearcats, but maybe we can place it smarter.
Yep. And that serve, pretty strong.
And another, wow, highlight reel step by Salone Shankar there. Another job going up with one hand is keeping that ball alive and catching the Beaver block honestly sleeping.
Yeah. Might have to get that sound effect built into the graphics kit here.
That's what I hear might be coming next season, Brian, a soundboard for us, but I hear the word might get a little too carried away.
I think they're right.
I think they are right, Brian. I would definitely get carried away with the soundboard. If you're listening to this, Mr. Neves, do not get us a soundboard. That's the last thing we need. We already have enough fun in the booth. We don't need a soundboard.
True. And Evan Taco's dropping back to serve now for Baruch.
Oh!
And that's what we call in the business a service ace.
Yes, now for anyone who knows anything about Evan Tacos or has played with him, that was initially the only ball he could serve was a kind of cut shot from, because Evan Tacos serves from the 5 position on the court. He would cut that ball from 5 to the other side's 4 or 5. Cross court and really wrist away and just have that ball kind of die on you, and that's his textbook staple serve. So it's nice to see him hit that in the game as he's really tried to develop other shots, but sometimes you have to go back to what's working. Bearcats lead 18-14 in the second of many sets today, Brian.
Yeah, again, a lot of action here. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But speaking of sprint.
Flying out of Hop Hog, New York up there, Andrew Soros.
He's a hop hog eagle.
Yeah.
And again, Jake, that's why we pay you the big bucks. Wow. Because you're a Jersey boy, but you know how to pronounce those Long Island names that are kind of tricky.
Well, you know, I went to school with a bunch of kids from Long Island, so I learned.
Yeah. I mean, granted, for me, like, hop hog, no problem. It's the next town over.
You know, a lot of people think of the City University of New York as New York City, but it really should be expanded to the City and Long Island University of New York, Saluni, because there's so many Long Island natives who come here.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't beat the experience and the education that the CUNY system provides, really across the board. But, of course, we're biased, and I'm going to say especially at Baruch.
You know, Brian, D3 athletics, but Division I academics and Division I experience. And that's what CUNY is.
Yep.
Justin Alulian back at the line.
And
Musayev is pounding his chest there saying, my bad, guys. I think he spread his hands a little bit too much and that ball just went through his thumbs there. Beaver point. Kept alive by Sullivan Shankar. Great effort there. Playing his middle ball that got blocked. And me and Nick were talking about this Thursday on the live stream is let's get Andrew Soros active. And that's exactly what they came in with the plan of doing today.
Yeah.
And like that, they're taking Drew off, letting him cool off a bit because his shoulder might be getting too warm out there, Brian.
Yeah, no, he's really bringing the energy today.
Now, subbing in for the Cats, a couple new faces. Sonam Dorji played a lot at the beginning of the season, but has been fighting and getting a lot of good energy lately and really poking his head in anywhere they'll put him, showing Coach that he's ready to be on the court when he gets put on the court.
Versatility is key in this game, Jake.
Yes. Now, what's also so good about getting some of these young guys involved in the a kill by Zhang, the freshman outside hitter from Guangdong, China. And, you know, that's exactly what you want. You want to get the young guys in here because these are teams you're going to be facing every year.
Yeah.
So it's good to get the young guys familiar with their opponents that they'll be facing, build these rivalries young.
Absolutely. So he's going to drop back to serve after that big kill. Go back row to the libero.
Dug by Dorji in the back row. Oh, and the best swing Alulian's had on a D-ball all match. And the Beavers are going up, and I think they have a good strategy attacking Brian. They're not even trying to put the ball down. They're just trying to tool the block. Bearcats lead 23-16. Oh, and sometimes, you know, if it hits the tape, the top of the tape, Brian, it can go back to your side or the other side.
Yeah, it's really
50-50 chance.
Yep.
Unfortunately for the Beavers, that ball came back on their side, but fortunately for the Bearcats. The Moose at the line. Oh, and that might have been the Moose is on the loose, Brian. I think we can officially say it. As many as the second or third ace of the match.
Yep.
Bearcats win the second set 25-16. We'll be back after a short break, folks. Stay with us.
And we are back underway here. Bearcats up with 2 sets coming out, and it's pretty much been all Baruch thus far, but we'll see if CCNY can fight back late to try to force this thing to 5.
Yeah, you know, these games have always started close, Brian, but the Bearcats have always pulled away at the decisive points, and even when they were close, I really felt like the Bearcats had it the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah, at any point, it really hasn't felt like CCNY was in the driver's seat today.
But they have been hanging around.
Yeah, but they've also
close.
been kind of fighting back to keep it interesting, so we'll see what they can do here in set number 3.
And let's see if they
nice. I love that roll shot by Lulian there.
And let's see if they end up implementing a couple line switches, because what happened for Trine on Thursday night is the Bearcats were dominant for the first 2 sets. Trine switched up some energy, some chemistry with some substitutions, and really changed up the whole feel of their team and came out a completely different team the third set.
Yep. Lopez coming out with the high jump serve.
Chased down through the rafters, sent over by Lulian. Just out by the CCNY attacker, the freshman, number 14, Vukasin Bolzik from Sunnyside, New York. Steven Lopez to serve. Serves at the Beaver Libero. High ball to the outside, just through the block of freshman. Oh, my goodness, Brian. It's like looking in a mirror out there. Freshman middle blocker, number 6, David Sorenchko, you know. I didn't have the facial hair my freshman year, but looked kind of like me my senior year, Brian. And he's also wearing my number. It's like looking in the mirror.
Wait, it is kind of weird. I just made that connection. Thinking back to the Ladybug days.
Yeah, the days, my prime, Brian, but those days are behind me, and now I'm transitioning to a full-time booth member.
Of course. I think probably one of my favorite memories just in general, last year, CUNYAC Championship. CUNY does the broadcast, and they definitely do a good job, but in between sets, they do some interviews and some on-court stuff. And Neves came and found me in the stands, and he's like, Brian, like, I need you to go do this interview for CUNY. And I was like, you're joking, right? Like, on the live broadcast? He's like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, come down. So I didn't have anything on Baruch that night, but you were kind enough to give me your warm-up.
That's right, folks. If you recognize the warm-up.
Actually, this exact
the
jacket.
exact one I'm wearing today, I said, you know what, Brian? I'm in the game right now. You take my warm-up, because that's what Baruch is. Baruch's family. And speaking of family, the Bearcat family is trailing 3-4 right now.
But, yeah, that was
always a fun match.
Yeah.
Best conference championship, I'd argue, in all of D3.
Oh, I agree. That was amazing. It's an amazing night for the program. And what a way to go out.
Yeah, you know, it's my first year here we won, and my last year here we won, and I wouldn't change anything about that, Brian.
Yep.
And I don't know if the live stream picked that up. There's a center divider that's used to divide the gym into 2 volleyball courts or basketball courts that, for the most part, is always up. But I think it's been down in the past couple of years, but it just kind of hangs a little bit lower than the rest of the ceiling. You can't pick it up on the live stream, but for visiting teams, it is kind of a home court advantage that we have, because they aren't used to having to control the ball with that little dip in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big block by another freshman middle blocker, number 12, Michael Higgins, a 6'4" freshman out of Valley Stream, New York. And this is exactly what these CUNY matches are all about. Once you think that you have the match in the bag, which I'm not saying the Bearcats do, but it seems like they think they do, and that's when you get the new faces out there. You get some of the young guys in to get them a taste of what conference play is all about.
Oh, absolutely. So CCNY is going to call another timeout. I don't know how many timeouts you get in volleyball.
You only get 2, Brian.
Oh, per set. Okay,
per set.
Very well. So we'll be back in a few moments.
Because I was telling you. And a couple technical difficulties, but we figured them out because we have the best staff in the world here at the Arc Arena. And we are back. Mics are hot. The game is hot. Oh, Higgins with the swing.
And Higgins bringing that energy. He's clearly the team hype man, too.
Exactly. And when you see the pregame huddles, I don't know if you can really see it on the live stream, but it's always him in the center getting the boys excited. And he's doing his best Nate Chin impression, Brian. I don't know if we have any alumni watching, but Nate Chin's historic celebration was jumping up and pointing a finger straight up in the air, and it looks like Higgins has adopted that celebration himself. Whenever he gets a block or a kill, puts one finger up in the sky doing his best Nate Chin.
Got to pay homage to the greats before you. And that looked like a foot violation too there, Jake.
You know, Brian, I thought I saw it too. I didn't want to say anything, but you seeing it kind of validated my opinion that might have been a service error based off a foot fault, but I guess we'll never know, and you can't have that point back.
Yeah, it just seems like with number 10 serve, he gains a lot of ground, which is a good thing, and has a lot of momentum behind it. But
that one was definitely clean.
Here's Lillian now.
And the CCNY defense the bench is complimenting Justin, saying nice, nice, and they're not wrong. It was a very nice swing by him off the hands and having the court awareness to go up and play that ball. And in the words of the CCNY bench, I think we are having some very nice volleyball.
Yep. So Uncle Drew with the serve.
Oh.
Keeps it alive in the back row. Here's Lopez now.
Nonchalantly in the back row, might I add.
Love to see it.
You can't see it on the live stream, folks, but I was seeing everything on the court. Saw a little early substitution, put my hands up, said, boys, slow down. And they did. Now they subbed out properly. Sonam Dorjian for the back row for Drew as they're trying to just, And
the Bearcats out of rotation.
Bearcats out of rotation. It was the freshman right side right now, Justin Lillian. It's a little tough. I always say the rotations don't change. When you play a lot of positions, sometimes it's tough to remember exactly where you have to be. But regardless, a mental error by the Bearcats. Now they're in rotation.
And Lopez tips it over that front row. Kept alive by Higgins.
And you hear the CCNY bench saying that their team's bigger, but quite honestly, they're not. I don't know what game they're watching, but CCNY is severely outsized by the Bearcats, so not sure who they think is bigger than the Bearcat team, but regardless, they're wrong. Maybe they're counting the metric system. Maybe there's a conversion error there, Brian.
I know you're Canadian, Jake. So
I am. I'm pretty good with the metric system. What's the what is it? King Henry Dunk's little mini glazed donuts and chocolate milk. Is that how you remembered it growing up? The kilometer, hectometer.
That must be
decimeter, liters, meters, grams. That's the little mini glazed donuts.
Must be a little bit of the Jersey
chocolate milk. Yeah,
Jersey education.
Is that a
system.
homonym? Is that a? I'll look it up in the set break. Get back to you guys and try and remember that for how to do the conversions, 10 up, 10 down in metrics. But I don't use the metric system, Brian. I'm a firm believer in it.
Okay.
Firm believer in it. Things make a lot of things easy. Couldn't tell you how many feet are in a mile, Brian. Couldn't tell you. How many meters are in a kilometer? 1,000. Exactly. Big supporter of the metric system here in the broadcast booth.
And CCNY just trying to stay alive here. Lopez. That one's a little bit long, so we'll go into the stands. As you see York kind of filing in. York's coming into this one 3-8, 0-3 CUNYAC, so they're
looking to have a statement match against CCNY.
Yeah.
Prove the type of team they are.
But CCNY, again, they're not playing bad volleyball here necessarily. Baruch's just been the better team.
And let's see what CCNY does, because assuming on paper they look better than York College, but sometimes teams tend to play down.
Understood.
So
especially you can catch someone on the back end of a doubleheader.
Especially, and if they come into this match against York thinking that there's going to be an easy victory, quite frankly, it might be in for some tough news, because when you take a foot off the gas, it's only when you get run over, Brian.
Yep. And it's a beautiful block there by Lulian.
And the Bearcat block is just bigger than the CCNY defenders there.
Another CCNY timeout.
And apparently that was only the second one this set, Brian. I've lost track with how many CCNY timeouts we've seen this far.
How many timeouts have the Cats called?
I believe 0, Brian. And we'll be right back after a short break.
And back underway. Set number 3, Bearcats up 2-0, and they have a 14-11 lead here.
Sloan Shankar serves, takes the front row outside out of the game with that serve, out of the sets rather. And a little bit of a tool there. Looks like the freshman blocker for Baruch, his shoulders are facing out of the court, which is why when the ball hit off him and went off out of the court, looks like a little miscommunication. The middle one of the outside block to go a little bit farther out, but regardless, even if that block isn't where you want it, you have to adjust.
Was a nice catch by myself.
Was a, you look like an outfielder out there, Brian. It surprised me because I knew you were historically a pitcher.
Yeah.
Would you sometimes call off the infield on a pop fly and say, no, I got this?
I'm neutral. I can catch it if I needed to. A little experience playing first base, growing up.
But then, speaking of first base, a nice first swing by number 6. Feels like I'm looking in a mirror, Brian. David Sharanko, the freshman middle blocker, had a double block up against him and still found the court.
Yeah. No, but going back to that point, Jake, it's interesting because some coaches, they kind of teach that when there's an infield fly ball, pitcher get out of the way because that way everyone can converge and nobody's colliding. But at the same time, Jose's a big fan of the pitchers being athletes, so he almost encourages the pitchers to go after the balls in the infield.
I imagine it gets the team excited, too.
Yeah. One who's actually probably our putouts leader year in, year out is Paul Sierkowski. He pitches with an outfielder glove, and my man just loves catching fly balls. Like, that's his thing.
You learn something new every day, Brian. That's why I keep you in the booth for this veteran leadership and extra Bearcat insight that is honestly untangible.
Of course. Also just a ton of integration between the volleyball and baseball team. Just think about how far back we go. And all the very, both teams are pretty close.
And it looks like the Bearcats tried to do a little bit too much there. Sometimes in those tough points, you don't want to be the hero. You just want to be a team player.
Yeah.
And not that Steven Lopez tried to be the hero there, but he just did a little too much with the ball, probably accidentally, and lost a point. But bailed out by a Beaver service error as the Cats still lead by 2 in a match that initially they pulled away from, but now it's back head-to-head. And, I don't know what the Beaver coach said in the timeout, but it was definitely something good as she got her players back into it and kept them fighting.
Definitely good timeout there for CCNY. Jake, are we going for bagels in between games?
Oh, I need a good bagel. I haven't had a Bearcat bagel in a while, Brian. And another big block from the Bearcats. They haven't exactly blocked at the level they did last year, but, no one expected them to keep up that level. That was such an insane level they blocked at, that they went from being the best blocking team in the nation to now just one of the best.
Understood.
You know, a block in volleyball is a lot like a sack in football, Brian.
Yeah.
You might lead the league one year in sacks. That doesn't mean next year you're going to lead the league in sacks. You can still be a good defensive team, but you might not necessarily be the sack leader, as was seen in the past 3 years, I believe, with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, then this year, nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found, Brian. But unlike the Saxonville Jaguars, the Bearcats have found their stride blocking, just not at the clip previously set last season. Ooh, tagged the ear, I believe, of the CCNY setter there. A nice high snap by the freshman outside, Sonam Dorji. Bearcats lead 19-15 as they began to pull away in this third set. And this has been where they've pulled away all game has been late in the sets. And a timely double call by the refs. They've been letting a lot of things slide, but they said enough is enough. That was a double.
Yeah.
That was a double.
It's a good call there. I mean, pretty obvious, too. We had a pretty good angle. We like calling doubles sometimes before the refs do.
Well, that's a...
Ooh. That one kept alive by CCNY. Higgins puts it back over. That's going to be Bearcat point. Group bench fired up.
Yeah, and the CCNY bench is fired up, too, even though their player hitting the net. I don't know what they're fired up about, but I guess it's good to get excited when you lose points, too, Brian.
Another Bearcat point as they're pulling away here. They're closing in on Jake. Match point.
Yes, it would be match point, Brian. The Bearcats need 3 points to close this out. 3 is a prime number. Let's see if the Bearcats can be prime here. But, you know, we say it day in and day out. Volleyball's about riding the highs but battling out of the lows. And the CCNY team has had their heads up all night.
Yeah.
All morning, sorry.
Yeah, I think they know that they have like a 30-minute turnaround and need to try to win game 2.
That might have been a foot fault, but it doesn't matter because the ball served out anyway.
Yeah, but again, like that's clearly they're either just letting that slide or.
But that's a tough call. It has to be made by the line judge. The ref can step in and overcall it if he's 100% sure he saw that. But if the ref's only 50% or 75% sure, it's really not their place to overrule that.
Understood, yeah, because they don't have much of an angle at all.
As we call it, you need to have a conclusive view, as we say in the industry. Bearcats need 2 to win, no longer 3 like Amazon Prime. 2 is 2 a prime number, Brian?
You're the
I'm the numbers guy.
You're the Zicklin guy.
I'm the
marketing, but still had to go through your paces.
I did get my master's in marketing analytics, so I guess I'm our analytics guy too.
Yeah.
I'll try and bring up some sabermetric stats later in the day for you folks.
Sounds good, man.
Dedicated fans at home.
And Shankar at the net.
The big block there, and that's exactly what you want to do in a joust, Brian. It's not about who touches the ball first, it's about who touches the ball last. And it's often so tough to push through if you're the first person there on a joust because the second person can sit there, use their core strength to fight back. And out of rotation on the Bearcats. Oh, and the Bearcat libero needs to get on the court. Oh, and he did. Bearcats lead 24-19, and they need 1 point. That's right, folks, 1 to win this match. Let's see if they can get it here. I think they can, Brian. I think they can. I think they can.
What a
Bearcats
swing.
improved to a perfect 4-0 in CUNYAC as CCNY battles out to a 1-1. Bearcats win 3-0. And we'll be right back, folks, in 45 minutes to watch York College take on the CCNY Beavers. And although the Bearcats won't be on the floor, the boys will be in the booth, and we'll be giving you high-quality Division III CUNYAC volleyball action. See you soon, folks.
Thank you for tuning in.